I think there's 3 areas where they need to score high, or any head coach in the world that needs to be top, they need to have 3 areas, in my opinion, where they need to score high. But I think number 1, no priorities ranking. Number 1, they need to be very good in the specific area they are either coaching or leading or what it is. So in my opinion, in my case, football. So we need to be good in terms of, you can see in the team, clear identity. You can train it. You need to train it yourself, coach it, in my opinion. Develop it, analyze it, constantly improve it. So all the tactical bits, how can you train that and get a clear identity into your team? 2, leadership. And leadership is, of course, many things. It's communication. It's strategy. It's the plan. It's how you communicate. It's how you lead other players or people. And then man management, the one-to-one, mainly with players, but these days also staff. And then there is too many people with too many egos or too big egos. But anyway, so these 3 areas, you need to score high in all 3, in my opinion, if you want to be top. And I was thinking actually maybe you need to have 1 more because you need to keep developing, being curious to go to the next level. So for a lot of football managers, I mostly looked at, because I don't know exactly their leadership and the way they communicate, their football. So that's the football. And then there's other leaders where I've been in the past. It was very interesting in the coaching, but not the coaching technique of answering or asking questions. Yeah. I used a lot in the past to do that. Very interested. Found out it's very good, but it doesn't work too much in football. Yeah, in some meetings, but there's also the including thing.
What I'm left thinking is, who in the game, and does this happen even, do you pick up the phone to and say, look, I've got a bit of an issue here? Or when you have a glass of wine after a match with a manager, what sort of things do you discuss? And I'm interested in who you feel you really learned something from that made a difference for you and what it was.
I meet with a few Premier League managers sometimes where we discuss everything in a closed room, and everything is said there is of course kept there, sharing stories and experiences and challenging.
Even without betraying their confidences and sharing what you discuss with current Premier League managers, is there a power for you in being able to talk about your challenges and your issues and the problems and the sort of landscape of the game?
Yeah, I think when we definitely, because when we sit there, we are completely naked in a way. We can sit there, we can share all our thoughts, our struggle. We all struggle at one point in a job or in a spell in the season, or had issues. It was difficult. So. Of course, it's classic. There's a lot, how did you deal with players? How do you deal with the big egos? How did you deal with it? Didn't win 5 games in a row. When you went into that club, what was your learning? So all those stories are we sharing.
And do you mind telling us who? Because we've had a few, I guess, on high performance.
We have met a few times with Roy Hodgson, very good. David Moyes. Sean Dice, Graham Potter, Gareth Southgate, of course. It's very good.
I won't say there must be. I'll ask you, is there a part of you that would love to test yourself at the very highest level in the Champions League at big clubs?
I think there's a part of me that think that one day maybe I need to try something different. Is that a bigger club, Champions League, different challenge? I don't know. The flip side of me is thinking, because I think I'm a little bit different. I don't know. Of course, I don't know all my colleagues, their family life and social life, but I'm a very social person, and I love that part of life as well. Be together with friends and family, and being able to travel and all that. And I'm working very hard at Brentford, but I also got. I'm in a club where everything is working, everything being part of building is, all the processes. And then we know last year we I'm not saying we're fighting relegation. We're not going completely the way we thought so. Okay, then it's a little bit tougher. But there's a lot of things in this club where it's easier, natural, than you're going into another club where there's just, you need to build the culture, you need to build everything, you need to all that. So that's probably the two questions I need to ask myself. And plus Brentford, maybe there is extra layers. I don't know. Who knows what will happen in the future when we can do even more. I think that's probably the two questions I'm asking myself. So now I'm just thinking, what is it I want in life?
You know who we all want to be? That person. The one who's meal prepping. They got their organic grain bowls. They come in with their quinoa, all of that stuff. We know they're also getting a full 8 hours sleep, meditating before sunrise, never rowing with anyone, and just hitting it every time. But let's be real. Who has the time for that? Like me, you've probably got loads to juggle: kids, work, exercise, pretending that you've got everything together at the same time, and something has to give. And for me, traditionally, that was energy. And then I discovered Vitals by Heights. And these changed so much for me. Just 2 capsules, the job is done so fast. And then I know for the rest of the day, my irons, my B vitamins, my immune system's being looked after. I've got zinc for bone health, omega-3 and DHA for normal heart health. Honestly, the lot is packed into these golden little beauties. And as we see on the High Performance show so often, high performers aren't perfect. They've just worked out the smart things that make a difference. So why don't you do right by your brain, your body and your health? Head to heights.com/Jake or enter the code HP20 at checkout for 20% off your first order.
We use data and we are good at using it, but everyone is using it today. And I think also it's important to use it in terms of, especially in the beginning was because how we recruited players. But everyone used that today.
Yeah.
Still need to use it in the right way to help us. But this is a high-performance podcast. And yes, data is important. But I think all the indicators of high performance is something about culture, people, togetherness, teamwork, and it's the person in the middle. And I think actually that's the secret sauce we have. I think we put the person in the middle and we try to develop people as people or persons and players or staff members, depending on how we do it. And I think that's the key thing.
So to be crude then, what would you allocate if you had to proportion how much of your success is down to the people and the culture and how much of it is down to the data and the analytics?
95% people and culture.
The myth that Brentford is built on data has just been busted.
Maybe, yeah.
I actually think that a big element of your secret sauce is down to 2 things, just from this conversation and things I've read. Innovation and bravery. Because I think you can't be an innovator unless you're brave, right?
Agree.
And I look at the things that you do and the way you do it. And a really good example this season is the sort of the blitzkrieg on other teams within the first minute of the game. And, 3 successive games scoring in the first minute and another game having to wait until the second minute to get your first goal. I'd love to know the story behind how something like that happens, because everyone in life is looking for innovation, right? But it's having the path, it's having the system here so that it goes from an idea to being effective on the football field. So would you mind telling us the story of how that all came about?
The Brentford story is remarkable in many, many ways. And we're very proud of it. And I'm very privileged and humbled to be in the middle of it with a lot of good people around me. But how can we make it a sustainable success story so we can sit here in 5 years' time and still thinking, how can you keep going? Because that's a real challenge. So already now we've been, in my opinion, unbelievable successful. But how can we keep going? That's the big thing for me when I'm working every single day. How can we keep developing and keep being an asset to the Premier League? Because for us, it's never been about surviving or staying. We also think that is not innovative, and that is definitely not brave. And it's not optimistic, as we talked about before. So it's always been about that, an asset or developing, adding layers in the Premier League. And I think that's key because it's such a brutal league. It's so difficult to compete here. We had a good squad compared to us because we've done some fantastic businesses in terms of players. Then we need to keep being innovative. We keep to change things. And I'm a little bit, even though I have been success, I'm saying, when are we an established Premier League team? I don't know. They say we are it now, maybe, but I don't want to say it because I'm afraid that we are leaning back and thinking, oh, that's it, easy. It's not only the players, it's also some of the staff that need to come with this open-minded approach, demands, all that, and they need to. I can't be around 30 players and 50 staff members, so I need others that is also building this culture. And I agree with the cultural architects are very important. I'm privileged. I think it's one of the reasons why we also are good. We have some good characters, some good actually cultural architects in the squad, and quite a few actually. And I think that's the reason why we work hard and we are constantly competing in the best league. And it's about humans because money has an impact, and of course we have maybe the third lowest budget in the Premier League, so we can't buy all the best players, so we need to buy good people, hardworking people, of course talented people, of course very talented, but if you have the hardworking and the good people and they're working in the same direction and they want to do a little bit more than the others, and we have hopefully also a good plan, then we can overachieve and beat the rest. And I also say to my players that my coaching staff and the rest, we can push the culture to, or the high performance culture, if you could talk about this, to 85, 90%. I think I can put the framework, the context, all the nice buzzwords, and you're not running, you're not all that. But the last 10%, the most crucial 10%, is like you are beating your running times, okay? And I guess you're both good runners, so you're probably running around 4:30 a K or 4:15, okay? And if you want to go down to 4 minutes per K, the last 15 seconds, so just like 5 seconds, is unbelievable hard to get. That demands so hard work. I try to compare that to the last 10% is within the group. So I'm saying to the players, the last 10% is in the dressing room. It's on you guys. I can't do that